Summer are, and we're Team JAG. As our Project Lead It Forward assignment, we were tasked with creating a wardrobe for students that are participating in the Jobs for Arizona Graduates program at Coronado High School. Specifically, we were asked to create a closet comprised of an expansive amount of sizes and styles for students to utilize for events throughout the year. Ultimately, students would then be able to keep that outfit after graduation. Let's hear more about the benefits of the program and of this project.
Hi, I'm Joe Nichols, and I'd like to introduce you to Wendy Paez-Gonzalez, the JAG program coordinator at Coronado High School. Wendy, can you tell us a bit about the JAG program, some examples of the events the students attend, and what led you to apply to be a PLIF project?
Thanks, Joe. JAG is a college and career preparation program at Coronado High School. It's actually part of a larger network called Jobs for America's Graduates, which has been around for about 40 years. So we're actually celebrating our 40th year anniversary this year. The students focus on college and career exploration, service learning, civic engagement, social awareness, as well as working on academic intervention and learning a lot about professionalism, which is one of the reasons why we're in desperate need for professional clothing, since that is part of their curriculum. The students attend 11 events a year in which they have to dress business casual to business professional, starting with their initiation installation ceremony, which is their actual inauguration into the program, visiting companies like Republic Services, as well as Honeywell, and then of course our state competition at the end of April every year. So we decided to reach out and try out for this project because, like I said, we really do need assistance with getting the clothing for the students. And obviously the way that we usually do is we have to fundraise, or I have to spend money out of my own pocket in order to help get students the articles of clothing that they need. So that's why we're reaching out to you guys.
Hi, I'm Mark Lassay. You've heard a bit about our team's challenge to support Coronado High School students in the JAG program. Without giving away too much about what my fellow team members have to say about our accomplishments, I wanted to talk a bit about process and how our members coalesced around some core ideas. At the outset, we committed to meeting once a week on Monday evenings, typically for an hour or two. Making this a habit provided us consistency in setting goals and benchmarks so that we could chart our progress. To our great benefit, one of our group members was a project manager, and she naturally gravitated toward breaking down tasks in meaningful chunks that we could measure from time to time. From that first meeting, I was very impressed when she produced an outline which expressly addressed group dynamics. As a result, our first meeting included conversations about decision-making, setting key milestones, and soliciting feedback and input. This set the right tone from the beginning. In every meeting after that, we had a written agenda which kept us on track, made us more efficient, and conveyed overall our respect for each other's time. As a result, our group moved forward quickly, due in part to this structure. Our first couple of meetings were used to brainstorm and throw out new ideas and alternative means of reaching our goals. We would talk through various scenarios and decide by consensus how to proceed. Decisions by consensus promoted buy-in from each member. Once a decision was made, we looked to volunteers to make it happen. When there was a task to be done, a team member would step up and own it. We each came to the JAG group with different skill sets, backgrounds, and experiences, which proved helpful throughout the entire process. Since we work in different professions, we had a diverse number of social circles from which we could draw on as resources to make things happen. We considered numerous options to reach our goals, things like having class meetings with JAG senior and juniors, making appeals for clothing from both personal and institutional sources, seeking grant funding, obtaining student internships, and exploring numerous potential fundraising activities. Out of these alternatives, we chose the means to reach our goals. So what was the outcome of our planning efforts? I'd like to introduce you to Tina Miller and Lindsey Peerenboom, who will share with you Team JAG's activities.
Hi, I am Tina Miller.
And I'm Lindsey Peerenboom.
And we are going to share the immediate needs of our project along with our experience with visiting with the high school students at their school. So Lindsey, take it away.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the project, we had the opportunity to sit down with Wendy and ask her more questions about JAG just so we could understand the program on a deeper level. As a group, we discussed what short-term and long-term success would look like for our project, which ultimately helped us determine where we should focus our efforts.
Yeah, you're right. You know, early on, it was helpful to set the framework of the project, just to set the tone. And what were your biggest takeaways from that meeting? Because I remember taking away the fact and recognizing that 30 plus JAG students needed professional clothing and they didn't have the resources to get them. What were your takeaways?
Yeah, I would agree with that. So Wendy had expressed to us that there were about 30 plus students that didn't have the resources to purchase professional clothing. The students attend a variety of events throughout the year, and the professional clothing is required for their participation in those events. This made it very easy for our team to identify this was the first priority for the project. So we held a 2-week clothing drive to gather all the professional clothing we needed. And we were able to reach out to friends, family, our social networks, work colleagues, and our Scottsdale leadership classmates for donations.
Oh my gosh, the amount of clothing that we collected was incredible. Just the generosity of so many people. Do you remember how many items that we collected?
Yes, and it was incredible. So before we sorted through everything, we were able to collect over 600 items of clothing. And then once we removed anything that was unfit for the students, wasn't professional, that type of thing, we were able to donate 258 professional clothing items to JAG. And this included both men's and women's items. And it was everything from shoes, belts, dresses, suit jackets, etc. So after sorting through the clothing, we were able to move to the next phase of the project, which was visiting the school. So Tina, can you talk more about what that experience was like for you?
Oh my gosh, I loved having the opportunity to meet them at Coronado High School, you know, to meet the students, the drop, you know, off all the clothing that was collected. And remember just how the students came to the lobby. I just remember how professional they were, how well spoken, how they shook our hands and they gave us direct eye contact. It was really amazing to me how well behaved they were, I guess. What were your observations?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was amazing how professional they were at such a young age. And like you said, the eye contact, the handshakes, it was incredible.
Yeah, at that point, you know, it was very obvious that Wendy works very hard. It instills professionalism within them, strong leadership skills, just as a great mentor to them. And really is, she's doing a great job in preparing them for a professional career, actually.
Yeah, and I remember you saying before we went to the school, this is going to be an epic day. So I'm interested to know what you meant by that.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for asking about that because it was a very epic day for me. Epic to me is it's a lifetime, a once in a lifetime experience. It's about, you know, participating in something that's meaningful and really making a positive impact in the lives of others, and especially our young, you know, students like that. I had an overwhelming feeling of gratitude, and it was emotional. So that's what was going through my mind. So thank you for asking. You know, as we moved through the morning, the project came full circle because, you know, of course we got to meet the students, and then we were able to walk them outside and then collect all the clothing from the vehicles that we had collected, and just to see them, I'll just always remember their big bright smiles, and they just had a lot of pride at that time. And so it was a great sense of fulfillment moving into that next phase. And another emotional time for me was meeting the juniors and seniors in their classroom.
Yeah, that was pretty cool just to meet the students in two separate groups. I know it brought back a lot of memories and emotions about my high school experience. Did it do that for you as well?
Wow, very emotional. I mean, I've been out of school a lot longer than you, and it was quite emotional. And just being in that classroom and thinking about the future, and how they were thinking about it as well. And just standing in front, when we were standing in front of the classroom, and each one of us, one by one, talking about our professional careers, and introducing ourselves, talking a little bit about our experiences, and then giving them a tidbit of information. As I looked out at them, I couldn't help to notice that they were very interested and engaged and hanging on every word that we were saying. And you could tell by the questions that they asked that they were very well engaged as well.
Yeah, and I think the icing on the cake was when we had the men on our team teach the students how to tie a tie, and everyone was able to participate because they all had their own ties. I thought that was really cool.
Oh my gosh, who would have known how many ways that there are to tie a tie? It was
I know.
unbelievable. So now let's hear from Andrew about the financial side of our project. So Andrew, take it away.
Thanks, Lindsay and Tina. I'm Andrew Cropper, and I'm excited to share with you the financial impacts of our JAG project. You have already heard about what our team did to address the immediate needs of the class of 2020 students through our clothing drive. A second part of the project, we wanted to ensure that future classes were also set up for success. In speaking with Wendy, we identified a program need of approximately $3,600 a year. Through grants, we were able to raise $550, and through the creation of the JAG for Coronado website, we've raised more than $1,000 in donations to date, for a grand total of $1,600 raised at the time of filming. By the time you all watch this, we are expecting that number to be even higher. Eric, turning it over to you for sustainability.
I'm Eric Carruth, and we've heard from a few of my classmates regarding the JAG program and its needs for professional clothing. Once we identified the immediate need for the JAG program, we focused on a sustainability model for the program. The first area that we focused on was future Scottsdale leadership classes being able to do their own clothing drive. The second area that we focused on was website. We worked with Kevin Maxwell to develop a website so that the community as a whole could donate to the JAG program. The third area that we focused on was grants, being able to partner with corporations, small, medium, and large, to give a grant to the JAG program. The fourth area that we focused on was internships. Corporations being able to provide internships to the JAG students so that they had viable work experience once they transitioned to the work world after high school, and for those organizations to also be able to recruit through the JAG program. And the final area that we focused on was partnering with a local entity to provide clothing on a monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual basis so that the JAG program did not have to outlay those funds on a monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual basis to provide clothing for the students. So those are the areas that we focused on to make the JAG program sustainable over time.
Hi, this is Dana Schmidt with Team JAG. As you just witnessed, Team JAG did a phenomenal job at making sure that deserving students at Coronado were set up for success with their professional outfit. From filling the closet initially, to securing an ongoing grant, to designing a website, to creating a link for sustainable ways citizens of the community can donate. Each one of these methodologies will ensure that Coronado students are set up for success for decades to come. But don't just take our word for it. Take Wendy Paez's name for it. Take it away, Wendy.
Thanks, Dana. I'm very thankful for the entire team that has dedicated months of their lives to come up with a fantastic plan to not only fundraise, but to collect clothing for my students. I know that they have very busy lives, but yet they still gave their time and effort to get not only to fundraise and get things for my kids, but they actually went and met my students, and the kids absolutely love them. And I really do appreciate that there's people out there in the community that are willing to give up time and effort and sacrifice time with their family so that they could give back to an organization like the JAG program. So we are extremely grateful. We are so excited to continue this partnership, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to everybody at Scottsdale leadership and my fantastic team. Thank you.